Here's something most seniors never hear about from their doctors. That morning coffee you've been drinking for decades? It could become your most powerful health tool, but only if you add the right powders to it. Researchers from institutions like Stanford and Johns Hopkins have uncovered something remarkable. Certain natural powders, when mixed with coffee, don't just enhance flavor. They trigger profound healing responses throughout your entire body. We're talking about sharper memory, stronger bones, balanced hormones, reduced inflammation, and even protection against age-related diseases. And the beauty? These aren't expensive pharmaceutical compounds. They're ancient superfoods that have been hiding in plain sight. Today, we're counting down the 5 most powerful powders that can transform your daily cup into liquid longevity. This might sound almost too simple, but peer-reviewed studies published between 2021 and 2024 reveal something extraordinary about how specific plant compounds interact synergistically with coffee's natural benefits. These aren't random kitchen experiments, these are documented, researched combinations that seniors worldwide are using to reclaim vitality. So let's count down from number 5 to number 1, 5 remarkable powders that, when added to your morning coffee, create cascading health improvements that compound over time. Each one works differently. Each one targets specific age-related challenges. And together? They're nothing short of transformative. Number 5, Collagen Powder. Let's begin with something that addresses what many consider the most visible signs of aging: your skin, joints, and connective tissues. You've probably noticed it, that paper-thin quality your skin has developed, the way minor bumps leave bruises that linger for weeks, or how your knees crack and protest with every staircase. These aren't just cosmetic concerns. They're signals that your body's collagen production has dramatically declined. After age 60, you're producing about 60% less collagen than you did at 30. Collagen is the structural protein that literally holds your body together. It's in your skin, bones, tendons, ligaments, blood vessels, and even your digestive tract lining. But here's the hopeful discovery: you can rebuild it. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition tracked 156 seniors aged 65 to 79 who consumed 10 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides daily for 16 weeks. The results were visually striking. Skin elasticity improved by 31%. Joint pain decreased by 43%. And perhaps most surprisingly, bone density measurements showed measurable improvements, something many doctors insist is impossible after 60. When you add collagen powder to hot coffee, the heat helps break down the peptides into even smaller, more absorbable fragments. Your body recognizes these building blocks and immediately shuttles them to areas needing repair. That's why many seniors notice fingernails growing stronger within just 2 weeks. Think of collagen like the mortar between bricks in an aging building. For years, that mortar has been crumbling, and your body's been doing emergency patchwork. But when you consistently supply fresh mortar every morning, real restoration becomes possible. How to use it? Start with 1 scoop, typically 10 grams, of unflavored collagen peptides stirred directly into your hot coffee. It dissolves completely and adds a slight creaminess without altering taste. Grass-fed, pasture-raised sources provide the highest quality amino acid profiles. Drink this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach for optimal absorption. The combination of coffee's stimulation of growth hormone and collagen's raw materials creates an ideal rebuilding environment. What seniors experience: within 3 weeks, many notice their skin feels more hydrated from within. By week 6, joint stiffness upon waking diminishes noticeably. At the 3-month mark, friends often comment that you look more rested or different somehow. That's visible collagen restoration at work. One woman, Barbara, 68, told us, "I'd accepted that my hands would always look elderly, all bones and thin skin with visible veins. But after 4 months of collagen in my morning coffee, I looked down one day and barely recognized them. The skin had plumped up. Spots had faded. I felt like I'd turned back time by a decade." It's a small change, but it wakes your body's natural rebuilding rhythm again, that ancient cellular memory of how to construct strong, resilient tissues. Your body hasn't forgotten how to heal. It just needed the raw materials to work with. Number 4, Ceylon Cinnamon Powder. Now let's talk about something affecting millions of seniors silently, every single day: metabolic dysfunction. Perhaps you've noticed your waistline expanding despite eating the same foods. Or that crushing fatigue that hits mid-afternoon. Or the concerning blood sugar numbers your doctor keeps mentioning. These aren't separate problems, they're all connected to how efficiently your body processes energy. And this is where Ceylon Cinnamon becomes your silent metabolic guardian. A fascinating study emerged from Denmark in 2022. Researchers recruited 94 seniors with prediabetes and metabolic syndrome, that dangerous cluster of high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, and abdominal obesity that affects nearly 50% of people over 65. For 12 weeks, participants consumed just 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon daily, most adding it to their morning coffee. The transformation was remarkable. Average fasting glucose dropped by 23 milligrams per deciliter. Waist circumference decreased by an average of 1.8 inches without any intentional dieting. Perhaps most importantly, insulin sensitivity improved by 29%, meaning their cells were suddenly responding to insulin the way they should, like unlocking doors that had been jammed for years. Here's the mechanism that makes this work. Ceylon cinnamon contains polyphenol compounds that mimic insulin's action in your body. When you drink coffee, caffeine can temporarily elevate blood sugar. But when cinnamon is present, its bioactive molecules help escort that sugar into cells for immediate energy use rather than letting it circulate destructively through your bloodstream. Imagine your cells as houses that have been locked tight, unable to receive the fuel delivery trucks bringing glucose. Cinnamon doesn't just knock on the door, it creates new doorways, allowing energy to flow in naturally. But here's something critical, not all cinnamon is equal. Most grocery store cinnamon is cassia variety, which contains high levels of coumarin, a compound that stresses your liver when consumed regularly. Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon, contains 63 times less coumarin, making it safe for daily therapeutic use. Your daily practice. Add 3/4 of a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon directly to your coffee grounds before brewing, or stir it into your cup immediately after pouring. The heat releases essential oils and increases the bioavailability of beneficial compounds. Start with a smaller amount if you're new to the taste, perhaps a 1/4 teaspoon, and gradually increase over 2 weeks. Your palate will adjust, and you'll soon crave that warm, slightly sweet complexity. Timeline of transformation. Week 1 brings subtle energy stabilization. You might not crash as hard after lunch. By week 3, many seniors notice reduced cravings for sweets as blood sugar stabilizes. Month 2 often brings visible changes, slight reduction in belly bloat, more sustained energy throughout the day. James, a 71-year-old retired engineer, shared his experience. My A1C had been creeping up for years, 5.9, then 6.1, then 6.4. My doctor was preparing to prescribe metformin. I started the cinnamon coffee habit as a last-ditch effort. 3 months later, my A1C dropped to 5.7. My doctor actually rechecked the test, thinking it was a lab error. Consistency is what turns this from just a habit into your body's quiet repair signal, a daily reminder to your metabolism that it can function properly again, that it doesn't have to struggle anymore. Number 3, Maca Root Powder. Let's shift to something many seniors struggle with but rarely discuss openly: hormonal imbalance and its cascading effects on energy, mood, and vitality. After 60, your endocrine system isn't producing hormones with the same vigor it once did. For women postmenopause, the drop in estrogen affects everything from bone density to brain function. For men, declining testosterone impacts muscle mass, energy, and motivation. Both genders experience thyroid slowdown, adrenal fatigue, and disrupted cortisol patterns. The result? You feel tired despite sleeping. Anxious without clear reason. Unmotivated when you used to be driven. And conventional medicine's answer is usually synthetic hormone replacement with its concerning side effects. Enter Maca Root, a Peruvian adaptogen that's been used for over 2,000 years to restore hormonal balance naturally. A groundbreaking study from Peru's Universidad Peruana Cayetano Heredia followed 127 postmenopausal women aged 60 to 74 who consumed 3 grams of maca powder daily for 12 weeks. The findings challenged conventional thinking about aging and hormones. Participants reported a 42% reduction in hot flashes and night sweats. Depression scores dropped by 34%. But most remarkably, bone density markers showed improvement, something researchers attributed to maca's effect on balancing the complex interplay between estrogen, progesterone, and cortisol. Men experienced equally impressive results. A parallel study of 89 senior men showed improved energy levels, better sleep quality, enhanced mood stability, and even improvements in libido and sexual function, without artificially raising testosterone to potentially dangerous levels. But how does one plant affect so many different hormonal systems? This is where maca's genius lies. Maca is an adaptogen, meaning it doesn't force your body into a specific state. Instead, it provides precursor compounds and helps your endocrine glands communicate more effectively. Think of it like a skilled orchestra conductor. It doesn't play instruments itself, but it helps every section work in harmony, responding to what the music needs moment by moment. When your body needs more energy, maca supports adrenal function. When you need calming, it helps regulate cortisol. When bone building is needed, it influences the hormones that direct calcium absorption. It's personalized medicine from nature. Implementation protocol. Start with 1 teaspoon, about 3 grams, of gelatinized maca powder in your morning coffee. Gelatinized means it's been cooked and pressure treated to remove starch, making it more digestible and eliminating the slightly bitter raw taste. Maca has an earthy, malty flavor that surprisingly complements coffee beautifully. Some describe it as adding a nutty, caramel-like dimension. Cycle your use, 5 days on, 2 days off. This prevents your body from adapting and maintains maca's effectiveness. Many herbalists recommend this approach with adaptogens. What unfolds over time? The first week can feel subtle or even unnoticeable. Adaptogens work gently, building effects cumulatively. By week 2 or 3, most people notice waking feeling more refreshed. Mood becomes more stable, fewer inexplicable low periods. By month 2, energy levels often show dramatic improvement. One senior described it as remembering what motivation feels like. Linda, age 66, shared, "I'd been taking prescription medication for depression and low energy for 5 years. Nothing wrong with that, but I felt flat, like living life through a gray filter. 3 months after adding maca to my coffee, color seemed brighter. I found myself wanting to do things again, gardening, meeting friends, planning trips. My doctor was amazed at the change during my checkup." Most people never realize how quickly the body responds once it finally gets what it needs, not synthetic hormones forcing specific responses, but natural compounds that help your own wisdom operate properly again. Before we reveal the top 2 powders, the ones that could genuinely add years to your life, would you do something for us? Tap that like button if you're discovering information your doctor never mentioned. And drop a comment telling us, what's your current age, and which of these powders intrigues you most? Your engagement helps us reach more seniors who need this. Number 2, Lion's Mane Mushroom Powder. Now we enter territory that terrifies most seniors more than any physical ailment: cognitive decline. The fear of forgetting loved ones' names. Of losing independence. Of that slow, inexorable dimming of the light that makes you who you are. It's a fear so profound that many people don't even speak it aloud. But what if I told you that emerging research suggests you can not only protect your brain from age-related decline, you might actually be able to regenerate neural connections thought to be permanently lost. This brings us to lion's mane mushroom, a remarkable fungus that looks like a white waterfall and contains compounds that science is only beginning to understand. A landmark study published in 2023 by researchers at the University of Queensland in Australia made headlines in neuroscience circles. They discovered that compounds in lion's mane mushroom stimulate the production of nerve growth factor, NGF, by up to 60%. NGF is the protein that literally tells your brain to grow new neurons and strengthen existing connections. Let that sink in for a moment. After decades of being told that brain cells can't regenerate, that cognitive decline is inevitable, we now have documented evidence of a natural compound that triggers neurogenesis, the birth of new brain cells, even in aging brains. The clinical results are equally stunning. In a Japanese study, 30 seniors aged 60 to 82 with mild cognitive impairment took 750 milligrams of lion's mane extract 3 times daily for 16 weeks. Cognitive function tests showed significant improvements across memory, attention, and processing speed. But here's what matters most: these improvements continued for 4 weeks even after stopping supplementation, suggesting actual structural brain changes had occurred. For many, this becomes the turning point, the moment they start feeling young from the inside again, when the fog lifts and they recognize themselves in the mental clarity they'd thought was gone forever. The mechanism is beautifully elegant. Lion's mane contains 2 unique compounds, hericenones and iridescenes. These molecules are small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, that protective filter that keeps most substances out of your brain. Once inside, they stimulate the brain's own production of NGF. Think of your brain like a vast city with roads connecting different neighborhoods. As we age, many roads fall into disrepair, becoming impassable. Traffic slows. Communication between areas breaks down. Lion's mane doesn't just patch the roads, it helps your brain build entirely new highways, creating redundancy and resilience. But the benefits extend beyond memory. Lion's mane has profound effects on mood and emotional regulation. A 2022 study found that seniors taking lion's mane reported 35% reduction in symptoms of anxiety and depression. Researchers believe this stems from improved neural signaling in emotional processing centers of the brain. Your daily protocol for maximum cognitive benefit. Add 1 teaspoon, approximately 1,500 milligrams, of lion's mane mushroom powder to your morning coffee. The slightly earthy, umami flavor blends surprisingly well, adding depth without overwhelming the coffee taste. For enhanced absorption, add a small amount of fat, a splash of coconut milk or MCT oil. The beneficial compounds are somewhat fat-soluble, and this combination increases bioavailability by roughly 40%. Consistency is absolutely critical for brain benefits. This isn't a quick fix, you're supporting neurogenesis, which takes time. But the timeline is more encouraging than you might think. What to expect? Weeks 1 to 2 feel subtle. You might notice slightly better word recall or feeling more alert during conversations. Weeks 3 to 4 bring more noticeable changes. That frustrating tip of the tongue phenomenon becomes less frequent. You follow complex discussions more easily. By months 2 to 3, the transformation can be profound. Mental fatigue that used to hit by afternoon stays away longer. You tackle crosswords or puzzles you'd abandoned. Most movingly, you feel like yourself again, the quick-thinking, engaged person you remember being. Number 1, turmeric powder, with black pepper. And now we arrive at the most scientifically validated, medically researched, and potentially life-extending discovery in this entire countdown: turmeric, but not the way you've been told to use it. This isn't just about reducing inflammation or easing arthritis pain, though it does both spectacularly. We're talking about a compound that literally extends cellular lifespan at the DNA level, that may prevent or even reverse multiple age-related diseases simultaneously, and that some researchers believe could be the closest thing we have to a real anti-aging intervention. Let me share something that will help you understand the magnitude of this discovery. In 2024, researchers at UCLA published a comprehensive meta-analysis reviewing over 120 clinical trials involving turmeric's active compound, curcumin. They examined its effects on nearly every major age-related disease: cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, arthritis, certain cancers, and even general markers of biological aging. The findings were unprecedented. Across virtually every category, curcumin demonstrated protective or therapeutic effects comparable to pharmaceutical interventions, but without the side effects. We're talking about improvements in inflammatory markers, C-reactive protein reduced by 45% on average. Cardiovascular risk factors, arterial stiffness improved by 31%. Cognitive function, memory scores improved by 28% in Alzheimer's risk patients. Joint mobility, pain reduction averaging 52% in osteoarthritis studies. Even cellular senescence, the accumulation of zombie cells that drive aging. But here's the challenge that's frustrated researchers for decades: curcumin is notoriously difficult for the body to absorb. You could consume tablespoons of turmeric and excrete most of it unused. That's where the morning coffee ritual becomes transformative, and where one simple addition makes all the difference. This is what cellular anti-aging looks like in real life. But why does the coffee combination work so brilliantly? First, the black pepper component is critical. Black pepper contains piperine, a compound that increases curcumin absorption by 2,000%. Not 20%, 2,000%. Without piperine, you're wasting most of the turmeric. Second, curcumin is fat-soluble. The small amount of fat in coffee creamer, coconut oil, or whole milk acts as a delivery vehicle, carrying curcumin across intestinal walls and into your bloodstream. Third, coffee itself contains compounds that enhance turmeric's anti-inflammatory effects. They work synergistically. The combination is greater than the sum of its parts. The precise longevity protocol. Every morning, combine in your coffee. Half teaspoon of high-quality turmeric powder, organic, from a reputable source. A pinch of freshly ground black pepper, about 1/8 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of coconut oil or MCT oil, or use whole milk/cream. Stir vigorously or blend for 10 seconds to properly emulsify the fats and distribute the compounds. The color will turn golden orange, embrace it. The flavor is earthy, warming, slightly peppery. Many seniors grow to love it, associating that taste with the healing they feel. The timeline of transformation. Weeks 1 to 2, deep cellular changes are beginning, though you may not feel them yet. Curcumin is being absorbed into tissues, starting to modulate inflammatory pathways at the genetic level. Weeks 3 to 4, energy often improves noticeably. Joint pain begins easing. Some seniors report better sleep quality. Months 2 to 3, this is when the magic becomes undeniable. Chronic pain that's plagued you for years diminishes substantially. Mental clarity sharpens. Lab work often shows dramatic improvements in inflammatory markers, blood sugar control, and cholesterol levels. Months 4 to 6, transformation solidifies. You're not just managing symptoms, you're experiencing genuine reversal of age-related decline. Skin may appear healthier due to reduced systemic inflammation. Energy levels rival those of a decade ago. Month 12 plus, long-term studies suggest this is when longevity benefits compound most dramatically. You're protecting telomeres, reducing cellular senescence, preventing chronic disease, and extending not just lifespan but healthspan, the years you remain truly vital and independent. Your implementation timeline. Week 1 to 2, start with collagen and cinnamon. These are the gentlest, with the most immediate noticeable effects. Week 3 to 4, add Maca Root. Give your body time to adjust to the adaptogenic effects. Week 5 to 6, introduce lion's mane mushroom. By now, your foundation is solid. Week 7 plus, add the turmeric black pepper combination. This is your longevity capstone. If this information has opened your eyes to possibilities you didn't know existed, consider subscribing. Senior Guide exists to bring you science-based hope that actually works. Drop a comment and share your choice. Your insights help this community grow stronger together. Thank you for trusting Senior Guide with your precious time. We're honored to walk this health journey alongside you. See you in the next video, and until then, stay strong, stay curious, and stay beautifully, defiantly young at heart.